Namaste. My name is Manisha Singh, Assistant Professor in Department of Food and Biotechnology under Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In this session, I am teaching you subject Food Safety and Quality Control for class DET FBT 6th semester. In today's session, we will discuss about how will you select a panel for the sensory evaluation. In our previous session, we were discussed all about what is sensory evaluation, what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, and what are the objectives of the sensory evaluation. In today's session, we will discuss how you will select the panelist or a panel member or a panel group for the sensory evaluation. Okay, so let's begin with the topic. What is the sensory panelist? Uh, uh, before in earlier time, sensory evaluation is mostly done for the wine. As it is used for the aging, as it is undergo aging, and it is well known said that the old is the wine, the more is the taste of the wine. Okay, so a unique feature of wine is its complexity. Okay, so indeed more than thousands of compounds have been identified in the grapes or the wine, and the wine, although wine is often defined by complexity among other things, enology does not have all the answers to help assure complexity. Our limited understandings lies with features below, with the multifaceted interactions that occur among the numerous chemical compounds or the components and the effect of these interactions on perception. So the adaptation, individual variability, carryover effects, and difficulty in distinguishing some sensory components, non-standardized language, expectation or biasness, and differences between expert opinion and the consumer preferences. So control of the human aspect of sensory evaluation is one of the more difficult factors of the sensory evaluation, and this may be accomplished best by carefully selecting the people that will participating in a test of the sensory evaluation. And important qualities in a sensory panelist include the availability, dependability, interest, and objectivity, stability, and acute senses of the smell and taste. The selection of the panelist is also dependent on the type of information desired about the product, and the panelists may be classified as the consumers, experienced or trained. Experienced and trained panelists complete testing in the laboratory setting, and panelist selection, panelists are selected based on the type of the test needed, and consumer panelists or experienced or trained panelists are used to answer different sensory questions. Okay, then we have the consumers. The consumer group may be selected to represent a geographic area, age group, socioeconomic status, or other population criterion. Frequently, panelists are randomly selected from consumers that frequent a given location, such as a grocery store or a shopping mall. Information from these consumers is valuable for demonstrating preferences, degree of acceptability, product use, or consumer opinions about the wine samples. This could be the most important information received about the wine in relation to the marketing and the sales. So, consumer testing is the time consuming and costly, but it is important in understanding the consumer attitudes. Okay, it is done on the large scale. Okay, next we have the experienced panelists. Experienced panelists are used to provide information about the product itself, not personal opinion or preferences. Specific characteristics or differences of the wine products are evaluated, and to accomplish this, experienced panelists are instructed about the product characteristics of interest so that they can evaluate the wine for their specific characteristics or determine if differences are evident between the wine samples, and these panelists are not considered trained panelists. Okay, so because validation of panelist performance is not completed, it is wise for the sensory panelists to develop a pool of experienced panelists so that a panel of 12 or more individuals may be assembled quickly. If necessary, if an experienced panelist cannot participate in a test on a given day, an alternate panelist from the pool may be substituted into the panel to obtain a sufficient number of responses. Next, we have the trained panelists. Most wineries want to know how wines differ, and this requires a descriptive analysis and panelists who have been trained to assess the qualitative and quantitative differences between the products. Okay, so the trained panelist does not permit personal bias regarding the product to influence the judgment of a product characteristics. Okay, so the understanding of wine character is much more complete with the trained panelist as compared with the experienced panelist because of an extensive training provided. And to determine the confidence in the performance of the trained panel, validation of panelist performance and understanding is accomplished through the statistical analysis and prior to the beginning of a descriptive analysis test. Therefore, other panelists cannot be substituted into a trained panel, and absenteeism, lack of motivation, inadequate performance, etc. by the panel members can be costly to the project outcome. And the sensory specialist is advised to select individuals for the participation on our trained panel carefully. Okay, so to train an adequate number of panelists so that absenteeism has a minimum effect. Next, we have the number of panelists. The number of panelists is depending upon the type of the testing required. To obtain a good understanding of a consumer opinions, a minimum of 50 panelists is needed and more are desirable. Tests for differences between the products may be completed with a few of as 10 to 12 experienced panelists. However, differences may not be observed with such a small numbers. Okay, so we need a discrimination test. Okay, 20 or more panelists are recommended as compared to 10 to 12. Next, we have the descriptive panels in which the panels have received the extensive training and performance in well documented may consist of 5 or more panelists, and it is wise to have more than 5 people on a trained panel. However, because if one panelist misses an evaluation, the influence on the data can be extreme. 10 to 12 trained panelists on the trained panel is more satisfactory to provide more statistical confidence in the data. Okay, next we have panelist screening for the trained panel. Panelists are selected for participation on an experienced or a trained panel by initially screening for motivation to perform the test and the ability to concentrate and communicate. Further, screening is completed to determine the abilities to identify the differences using the dilute solution that may present. For example, the basic tastes of sour, bitter, salty, and umami. Additional screening may include the determination of the threshold testing for each taste sensation, and candidates that successfully complete the screening test are eligible for the participation in discrimination testing. Potential panelists for descriptive testing should also exhibit verbal acuity and the ability to think abstractly and sensitivity to the characteristics of importance. Panelists must be highly motivated to undergo many hours of training time. Okay, so additional screening tests in addition to those needed for discrimination testing might including the determination of characteristic differences in a wine system, a ranking of reference wise wine standards containing different levels of a single characteristic, and a test to assess abstract thinking by providing a verbal description of some unidentified but common aroma compound. Okay, so contrast in sensory response can be the result of the following variations like genetic, biological, physiological, and psychological. Next, we have the genetic variation. It is recognized that there are the 5 primary tastes: sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. And taste is sensed by the taste receptors located within the taste buds, okay, on the tongue. And there are 4 types of taste buds and a total of about 9,000 taste buds in the adults. And a taste component must be dissolved in a saliva and physically enter the clove-shaped taste buds. Okay, so the taste acuity involves the following. The taste acuity is positively correlated to the number of taste pores on the tongue, and the average is 70 fungiform papillae per centimeter square, but so-called hypertasters or the supertasters possess more than 100 per centimeter square. Many taste receptor can sense more than one taste, as much the tongue does not have areas that detect certain taste exclusively, and receptors of similar sensitivity are grouped together on the tongue, And individual receptors, neurons may react differently to one or more compounds. Proteins associated with taste buds play an important role in promoting taste reception. Okay, so the test paper impregnated with phenyl thiocarbamide or PTC can be used to demonstrate the genetic variation with regard to pertaining a certain type of bitterness. This is a well documented example of how dramatically people may vary in their ability to taste bitterness. While this test is for certain types of bitterness found in the wine, and it has not been directly correlated with the wine bitterness. And test papers which contain thiourea or sodium benzoate highlights the differences in taste perception for single compounds, and most people will experience a bitter taste from thiourea, while the sodium benzoate may be perceived as a sweet, salty, bitter, or tasteless. A known tester of PTC, that is the phenyl thiocarbamide, will not report a bitter taste response for the sodium benzoate. If a single chemical component can elicit a multitude for different descriptors, it is not difficult to imagine why. In a complex matrix such as wine, we have trouble reaching a consensus. Okay. Next, we have the biological variation. In order to be tested, the testant must be dissolved in or mixed with the saliva. Okay. So the number of both taste buds and the sensory receptors per taste bud declines past middle age. Although age-related sensory loss is not known to seriously limit wine tasting ability, there is about 10-fold difference in saliva production among humans, and taste receptors are replaced every 7 to 10 days. There is a less reception in smokers and the elderly, and where the cell regeneration may be slow. Wine stimulates salivary flow, which both dilutes and modifies wine chemistry. The proline-rich proteins of saliva, which make up to the about 70% of the salivary proteins, effectively bind the tannin, and the result is reduced bitterness of lowering the tannin's ability to react with the bitter sensing receptor proteins. Saliva chemistry changes throughout the day and often differs between the individuals. People also differ notably in the salivary flow rates, which, among other things, can affect how quickly an individual may react to the tastings. Acuity is generally measured as a detection threshold and the lowest concentration at which a substance can be detected. Thresholds differ notably among the individuals and classes of the wine components. Next parameter is the panelist orientation. Before beginning any discriminative sensory analysis, panelists must receive some instruction. And this instruction may be as brief as explanation of the scorecard and a familiarization with standardized testing procedure. If the characteristic to be evaluated is not clearly understood or not easily perceived, it should be defined. A reference sample that clearly illustrates the desired characteristics may be used to help the panelist distinguish the attribute, and the sensory panelist should document that each panelist can identify the characteristic of interest in a wine system before beginning the test. Next, we have panelist training. Descriptive testing requires extensive training and validation of the panel's performance before confidence can be placed in the results. The actual training time requirements are dependent on the ability of the panelists to learn to identify and measure the selected characteristics within the wine. In the initial stages of training, the panelists should meet as a group to discuss the characteristics that contribute to the descriptive profile of the wine, and the sensory specialist act as a facilitator for the group discussion, as well as preparing samples and reference standards used during the training session. Okay, so using the wines, they represent the range of characteristics expected in the samples set of the wines, and the group develops a list of descriptors, for example, fruity, vegetative, oaky, and vanilla for those characteristics, facilitated by the sensory panelist or the specialist. And the descriptors are discussed to determine the definitions and reference standards that reflect those definitions. Okay, so training ensures basically initially using the standards in water to demonstrate the descriptor until all panelists can identify each characteristic. Training continues using reference standards in a wine. Usually the panel will begin by discussing a small number of wines for the most identifiable characteristic, using additional characteristic for discussion as abilities and confidence build. Training sessions are basically continued until all panelists have developed confidence in identifying and rating intensity of each characteristic of interest in the wine. Limiting the discussion to 6 or fewer descriptors allows the panelists to concentrate on those limited concepts without fatigue. In quantitative descriptive analysis, panelists also learn to evaluate the intensity of the characteristic on a scaling system, usually reflected by an unstructured line scale. Reference standards and descriptors are the numerous descriptors that are used to describe the aroma and flavor of wines are listed in the wine aroma wheel. Okay, so the timing of panel training and testing time period should be scheduled when the panelist will be most receptive to product characteristics and have adequate attention to the task at hand. And do not schedule the session immediately after a meal or a coffee break, as this they make contribute to sensory error. And all sensory sessions should be conducted at the same time of a day. Okay, so from this session, questions may be asked like, how do you select a panel for the sensory evaluation, and what is the need of selection of panel for sensory evaluation? Likewise, questions will be asked in your final exam. So prepare accordingly. And I hope this session is clear to all. Thank you so much for watching this session.